This will be a video tutorial on how to conduct the laboratory for our disease transfer section. So it only needs a few simple materials that you can obtain at any grocery store. So we're going to use cornstarch and then milk. You can either use liquid milk or a dried milk powder. Our indicator solution is going to be betadine. Then we just need some bathroom cups, some stir sticks, something to measure our cornstarch and milk powder, a source of water, and then something to measure the water out. So when you set up the laboratory for your students, the instructor is going to prepare the cups ahead of time. So let's assume we have 10 students in this group that we're going to do this lab with. 1, 2, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I will have 10 cups. I'm going to go ahead and mark one of the cups pretty lightly, just so it's only for my purposes, so we can track back down which are diseased cup, so something that the students won't notice. Then we're going to start with adding our milk powder to our cups. So we're going to add our dried milk powder to our cups, and essentially keep in mind the ratio that you're going to use. So in my measuring cup here, I'm going to use 2 scoops of my milk powder per cup. So now to my labeled cup that I'm going to have as my diseased cup, we will add 1 scoop of milk powder, and then we're going to add 1 scoop of my cornstarch. And then I like to mix it up before the student sees it. Otherwise, they're going to be able to tell which is just the pure milk and which is the cornstarch. So I just sort of stir it in so it's not as obvious to the students which cup that they're getting. The nice thing about using milk and cornstarch is it is all non-toxic, but I would encourage the students to not drink the solutions during this experiment. So now that we have our cups all prepared, we're going to add water to them. So this is where the students would be mixing their cups together. You can use an official measuring device if you wanted to talk about volumes in your curriculum. Otherwise, just put a same amount of water in each cup. And you want it to be about half full. So I'm using essentially 50 mils in this cup. Again, if you want to just fill the cups to the same volume by eyeballing it, that is okay too, as long as they're similar in the amount. So each student then will have their own stir stick, and they will just go ahead and mix their solutions together. So when you use the dried milk and the cornstarch, the students actually will not be able to tell which is the diseased cup. So after the cups are prepared, now we're actually going to have the students exchange the bodily fluids. We can think about these as respiratory secretions, animals that are in contact with each other. So the students will essentially take their cups, and when they exchange fluids with one another, the 2 students are going to pour the contents of their cups back and forth a few times in order to ensure that they are all equally mixed. And then we're going to end with 50% of the mixture, so essentially check that the volumes are similar between the students after they've exchanged fluids. The students also need to keep track of who they've actually exchanged these bodily fluids with. So we're now going to add our indicator solution to the cups to determine which one would be our diseased cup or carrier and which is our healthy one. So we're going to add some betadine to our cups. And we're going to have the students stir that solution in. So our diseased cup is going to turn this murky purple kind of color that you see here. And our healthy cup will stay yellow. So at the end of testing our cups with our indicator solution, you should be able to clearly see which ones carried the disease. So these are going to be our purple murky kind of color. And then our healthy animals or cups are going to have a yellowish, whitish tone. This variation that you see here really is just how much betadine was added to the solution. But it should always be easy to tell which are the diseased cups, and then the students would track back down who our original carriers were.